proof, living proof. It's pretty safe to say, God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way. I'm living proof.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and today I'm coming at you with another Sentinel challenge defense, or another champion defense, going against my boy Meep. You've seen him on the channel before as part of my dust testing, I believe, but he made it through the Sentinels, and now he chose to come back and challenge me to lay claim as being champion again. And if you haven't seen my first video against Dryden, check that out. I definitely recommend it. Let's go ahead and hop into it. So I knew Meep was playing Aqua Force because, once again, as part of the challenge, you need to show which decks you're going to be using. So coming into it, I made some modifications to my Crazy 8 deck to take out the Pokuras again, because I don't need them against Aqua Force, and I made room for them to add in a couple more Monty. And he wanted the coin flip, so he chose to go first, which is scary for Aqua Force because they can just drop aggression on you. But I hit a draw trigger, which is very helpful for me. And he chose to be more aggressive here. My goal against Aqua Force is to keep my damage low, so that way Alexandro doesn't just bop me over the head with aggression. And here he's kind of in an awkward spot. He chose to ride up, so I have the first stride opportunity. Unfortunately, I lost a jelly beans to damage, so being able to go for Crazy 8 second stride is less of a possibility. But there's ways we can get around it because Picaro is such a good stride against clans that are aggressive, because I can use my hand to survive and then be more aggressive on my swing back. So given my hand situation, and since I lost the jelly beans and a heal trigger, I'm kind of aiming for Picaro to set me up for the win here. And I used double Mecha Train to get 2 heals to help survive the Alexandro turn. Hit a nice crit, very timely. And I considered not attacking here so that way he couldn't G-guard into Alexandro, but I went for it anyway. In the turn draw, it seems like whenever I face Aqua Force, whenever I use Great Star's end of turn skill, I always draw a trigger that would have helped my turn out a whole lot more. But those are the chances you take. A card in the hand worth 2 in the bush, 2 in the damage. However the old adage goes. So he goes into Alexandro with 3 damage, which gives him a lot of flexibility with his attack formations, because he can be a little more freely with his counterblast with Alexandro's Adelaide. I think Mitros uses a counterblast too. No, he doesn't, it's free. But this girl here, I think she uses a counterblast. Yeah. So she can restand, and I think she has the back row skill. I don't know. Hit with that nice Linus no pass. And then Alexandro's up Adelaide. Get power to champion Thabas here. So I thought about G-guarding here, which I did. Use gate, whatever turn. Oh, smart, tier, cheetah from soul, and then a crit trigger. And then I use double Lindsay to bind and unflip. And this battle also happened before I saw the light when it came to Mecha Instructor, so he wasn't currently in my deck either. Maybe in the future I'll show you guys the decks, like I'll save them better to show you guys what the decks were that I used. PG that, and then I should have, I GB2 that back to hand. he wasn't sure if I had the 3rd heal on my hand to go in straight into Hellheart 8. So he has one G-guard, no PGs. And I have 3 Crate Elemental face up with 5 damage. So my idea here is to go into the double frog setup, a variation of that I showed you guys in my ARG video, because this is kind of where I saw the potential for it. Let me see, I had a Cunning Brain in the drop zone as well. So I could have, yep, call out Cunning Brain and a Blackguard here, because he has no way of interacting with Blackguard. So I can just freely get the counterblast back and then go into my sequence of chain calling Blackguard and Great Star back and forth. That was my goal here. That put me in the best chances of winning, because I have full counterblast available to use it. And this is what, if I had Instructor, Critical Frog would have been very nice to do here. The interesting thing to think about is with Blackguard's restriction, where you want to put the power from Cunning Brain from to maximize your pressure. But that's more relevant when you have Mecha Instructor, because since you're going to be charging Great Stars back and forth, they're going to be hitting for numbers anyway. Ooh, two brains. Fat power on the frog. So Blackguard does his thing, call out my main man Star, and then Great Star calls out Blackguard, and then you tag them back and forth until you either win, you're out of counterblast, or you're out of hand to use it, and then you lose. Definitely a massive all-in sequence, but it can definitely pay off in your favor. And then do it again. And the beauty of this is that with Blackguard here, my last call is going to be over top of the buff Frog Raider, which is why I put it over here. So I took that game against Meep, and then I'm going to transition to the next game, and then I'll be right back. Back with game 2 here, and Meep chose to go second, which is scary for me, but I kept Monty in my hand just for that early aggression to hold them back some. And I call Mecha to the side here because it benefits me more to have it to the side, unlike with Kagura where they can just nuke it. That hurts. They can't, as Aqua Force can't nuke it as early, so I can get more uses out of it, more advantages out of it. And I chose to counter the aggression with some of my own and hoped he didn't hit a trigger, which he didn't, so I was definitely fortunate there. And the reason I didn't use Dust here, because by the time of this game, Dust has been out, I didn't do enough testing to see the Mecha Instructor interaction with it. And I didn't have enough faith in it to bring it to a challenge. I also thought about bringing Bat In, knowing I was going to be facing Aqua Force. But I chose to go with the deck that I had more faith in. And I rode up to 3 because I wanted to do what I did last time and set up for the big Picaro chain. And because I didn't want to stay at 2 and give him access to a bigger Alexandro earlier on. And because I had the Jelly Beans and the Mecha Trainers to get myself the heals that I need into my hand. So being at 2 damages, going into Alexandro makes me feel more comfortable, especially when I have 2 heals and a PG in my hand to stop his attacks. So my entire purpose here is to figure out the best way to use my G guards. That way I can go into Picaro next turn. No guard that. Then I wonder if he thought about ending his turn here, knowing that I had the heals in my hand. Because I can go into it with 3 counter blasts. I'm pretty sure I guarded this one too, yeah, because that way he didn't have the option to end his turn. And I should have went into Linus there. That was a misplay on my part. Because if I went Linus there, I could have called out 4 cards on my Picaro turn. And because I forgot that he was on the other Thavas, Transcendence Storm, which retired one of my rear guards. So I put myself in a bad spot because I just didn't pay attention to the board state. So I still went to Picaro because it was my best option. And I did a nice little call 3 because I can still tag things back and forth. Just it won't be nearly as efficient if I did with double frog. So just misplays on my part, just coming back to bite me in the butt. Pondering things. What could I have done here? I think I had 2 fake bomber, so I could have called out Great Star behind Vanguard, use his skill to call out fake bomber's charge, use the last of my hand to call out 3 cards into circle, and then Frog Raider back here. And then I would have had 1 counter blast, and then I would have got a second one back from fake bomber, but then I would have been totally dependent on my drive checks. So that would have been very good. This life would have been so much easier if I just used Linus instead of using that second Gase. What I would have called here? Probably a Blackguard, fake bomber, plus something else I can hit for 14k plus. Ooh, frog. Frog Blackguard to this side, plus Cheetah / Blackguard here, maybe. Okay. That's how I did it, because then I kept a good charge in my hand to call. Not bad. And then I set up 21/26k columns. And then I threw all on Vanguard. And then I hit through it. So I actually didn't remember that part. But that does it for the games against Meep. And it kind of it helped me get more confidence in my deck against more aggressive matchups, just to see how I should play against it, just to make best use of Picaro. And I wish I remembered this before going into ARG, because there was times where I misplayed my G guards and left units on board where I would have been better off shoving them into the soul to be used for just to free that space up for later. But that'll do it for this game, or these 2 games here. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, look out for more. Until next time, peace, be easy.